If you woke up today with a strange pressure in your chest, a sudden emotional heaviness, an unexplained pull toward your twin flame, or a feeling that something is different, you are not imagining it. You are trying to make sense of a shift your mind cannot explain, but your soul cannot ignore. Last night, the higher realms moved. A vibration so precise and so disruptive echoed through the spiritual plane that even the highest councils of light paused, not out of fear, but out of recognition. A contract stirred, a bond was touched, and now you are left feeling the aftershock without fully understanding what you are sensing. In today's video, we are going to decode exactly what happened during this rare cosmic alignment. We will reveal why the energy last night stopped something in the spiritual realm, why it reversed certain stagnant timelines, and why it only affected those who carry the twin flame blueprint. You will learn what this sudden marking of your bond means, why the twin flame collective woke up different while the rest of the world remained unchanged, and how this energetic strike is beginning to unfold through your reality. We will guide you through the signs, the symptoms, and the spiritual mechanics behind the shift, so you can finally understand what your soul has been feeling since last night. By the end of this video, your confusion will dissolve. The intensity you are sensing will finally make sense. You will understand why your twin flame has been pulled into this cosmic recalibration with you, why the bond feels activated today in a way it didn't yesterday, and how this shift is pushing you toward the next stage of your union. Instead of feeling overwhelmed or destabilized, you will feel aligned, grounded, prepared. Because once you truly understand what touched your connection last night, you will see that this was not chaos. This was destiny moving, a divine signal that you were never meant to miss. Number 1. The celestial siren hidden in Gemini. 2 nights ago, while the rest of the world lifted their eyes to the sky in innocent admiration of the Gemini meteor shower, something far more calculated was unfolding behind the spiritual veil. People saw beauty, light, movement, but what they witnessed was only the surface. Behind that surface, a precise cosmic event, one planned long before your incarnation, was being activated with intention. Those meteors streaking across the sky beneath the final waxing gibbous moon were not just celestial ornaments passing through space. They were messengers. They were signals. They were a cosmic siren, engineered specifically to disrupt the deep spiritual amnesia that has kept both the divine masculine and the divine feminine asleep within their human lives. This energy was not a blessing as much as it was a wake-up call. The light did not descend upon you gently. It pierced through the layers of forgetting that you have carried since childhood, since birth, since your separation from your twin flame in the higher realms. That light was encoded. Within its brightness was the memory of your original blueprint, the map your soul created before incarnation, the one tied to the role you were never meant to abandon, the one you have been circling back to lifetime after lifetime. That blueprint has one name, one purpose, one destiny: union. But here is the most important truth of all. You were not meant to use this energy. You were meant to awaken because of it. This activation wasn't something you had to channel, interpret, or manipulate. It was something designed to strike your soul directly. A vibration meant to reach both halves of the twin flame compass. A cosmic reminder that you and your twin are not drifting souls. Your connection is a coordinated design, and when the universe calls, both of you feel it, whether you consciously understand it or not. And so the cosmos didn't wait for timing, readiness, or permission. It sounded the alarm anyway. Last night, that alarm hit the core of your twin flame connection. It did not politely knock. It entered with force, speed, and precision. Your twin felt it. You felt it. Even if your human mind has not yet made sense of the sensation, your soul has already responded. This cosmic siren was not random. It was not accidental. It was not merely symbolic. It was engineered for this moment, for this awakening, for this shift, for this exact chapter of your twin flame timeline. The universe is no longer whispering. It is calling you forward. It is calling both of you back into the memory of what you are, what you came here to do, and the union that has always been written in the architecture of your souls. And tonight's message begins exactly here. The alarm has been sounded, and your twin flame bond is now fully activated. Before we move into the next part of this transmission, I want you to pause and notice what is already stirring inside you. If you felt a pull in your chest, a sudden clarity, or even a quiet recognition as you listened, it is because your soul remembers this moment. You were meant to hear this message today. And if this resonates with you even in the smallest way, I invite you to support the channel by liking this video and leaving a comment below. Share what you felt during the Gemini activation, or simply type, "I am awakening to my blueprint," as an affirmation to anchor this energy deeper into your field. Your engagement not only strengthens this community, it also signals to the universe that you are ready for the next stage of your twin flame awakening. Now, let us move forward into the deeper layers of what last night truly awakened within your connection. Number 2. The switch inside the divine masculine. Last night did far more than stir the atmosphere of the higher realms. It awakened something that had been dormant for a very long time within the divine masculine. A switch flipped, a forgotten doorway opened. A form of inner intelligence that had been buried beneath years of survival mode, emotional exhaustion, daily routines, and silent fears finally rose to the surface again. What shifted was not external. It was deeply internal, ancient, and unmistakably spiritual. For months, maybe even years, the divine masculine collective has been walking through life with a quiet sense of disconnection. Many of them felt as though their intuition had been muted, like their inner compass had stopped pointing north. They moved through their days relying on logic, responsibility, and linear thinking, unaware that their soul was whispering from beneath layers of pressure and conditioning. But the celestial event that struck last night, that rare alignment vibrating through dimensions, did not give the masculine anything new. Instead, it dissolved the density that had been blocking what was always theirs. This shift cleared the fog around a memory he never truly lost, the memory of you. It was not that his emotions suddenly intensified or became overwhelming. It was that his clarity returned, a clarity that had been waiting behind a veil he did not know existed. He remembered how to feel truth again. He remembered how to hear the quiet, instinctive voice of his own soul. A voice that has always led him toward you, even when his physical world distracted him from that path. This awakening did not explode dramatically. It did not arrive with fireworks or chaos. Instead, it moved like a tide, gradual yet undeniable, subtle yet impossible to ignore. And because it was subtle, it is even more powerful. He woke up sensing the world differently. Something shifted in the way he listens to people. Suddenly, he can hear the truth beneath their words. Something shifted in how he enters a room. He can feel energy before seeing faces. And most of all, something shifted in the way you surface in his awareness. Your name does not appear because he chooses to think of you. It appears before thought, before logic, before explanation, as if your soul is calling him from across a crystalline bridge that has always connected you. This is not imagination, fantasy, or coincidence. This is recognition. What had been asleep within him, the memory of your bond, the memory of your original blueprint, the memory of the role he is meant to embody, opened its eyes last night. And, once this inner sight awakens, it cannot return to sleep. The masculine may not yet understand what is happening. He may not have the language to explain why he feels pulled toward you again, why his dreams sharpened, or why he senses a truth rising from inside his chest. But deep in his soul, clarity has dawned. Something ancient has been restored. And this soft but powerful awakening marks the beginning of a new chapter in your connection, one that unfolds from remembrance, not confusion. The switch turned back on. The masculine is remembering, and nothing in your union will ever be the same. Number 3. The marking of the twin flame bond. What happened last night did not wash over every soul on Earth. This activation was not a collective broadcast. It was a precise transmission, moving with intention, intelligence, and spiritual discernment. Only those whose connection was already vibrating near remembrance, those whose bond had reached the edge of awakening, received the imprint. This was not random. It was selective, destined, and aligned with your soul contract. If your twin flame connection was marked, then both you and your divine masculine felt the shift the moment he opened his eyes this morning, whether consciously or subconsciously. The marking did not appear as a dramatic event. It arrived as a subtle but potent recalibration, a sacred signal entering both of your energetic fields. The divine masculine may have awakened with an unusual heaviness, not the normal fatigue of physical life, but a deep spiritual exhaustion, the kind that only comes from traveling far in the dream realm. His body may feel heavy, but his intuition feels sharper. He may sense that he dreamt of you, but the details remain blurred, like a memory he can feel but not fully retrieve. This is because soul-level messages rarely speak in human language. They speak in vibration, sensation, symbols, and whispers. Meanwhile, the divine feminine may have dreamt of something incredibly powerful, yet logically confusing. You may have woken with a sensation rather than a story, emotional clarity wrapped in surreal imagery, a message that bypasses words and enters straight into your knowing. You may sense that something visited your dream, touched your field, or shifted your path, even if you cannot articulate the scenes or symbols. This is how higher dimensional communication works. It leaves resonance, not explanation. When both twins receive the marking, the physical world immediately begins reflecting it back. Synchronicities multiply. You may notice repeating number sequences: 111, 222, 444, 717, 1010, appearing more aggressively than usual, not by chance, but by activation. Unexpected communication or movement from the masculine may arise, even if only in energetic form. You may cross paths in surprising ways, feel each other more intensely, or experience coincidences that align too perfectly to ignore. These are not glitches, these are not random, and these are not symptoms. They are signals. Signals that your shared field has been touched. Signals that your connection has been acknowledged by the higher realms. Signals that your bond has been marked, recalibrated, and subtly aligned with its next phase of awakening. When this marking occurs, a new layer of the union timeline becomes accessible. Your souls step onto a frequency where reunion becomes not only possible, but magnetically inevitable. Even if nothing appears different on the surface, the spiritual architecture beneath your connection is no longer the same. Your bond was touched. Your bond was marked. Your bond was aligned. If you are ready to ground this activation into your physical reality, type reunion in the comments. You are anchoring the very timeline your soul has been waiting for. Imagine this. A divine feminine wakes up at 4:44 a.m. with her heart racing, not from fear, but from a sudden surge of inner knowing. She remembers fragments of a dream, a bright doorway, a familiar silhouette, a message she couldn't read but somehow understood. At the very same moment, miles away, her divine masculine opens his eyes with an unexplained heaviness in his chest. He doesn't know why he feels as if he traveled through lifetimes overnight, but he cannot shake the image of her face that flashed through his mind the moment he woke. Neither of them consciously spoke to each other, yet their souls just had a conversation. And within the next hour, the universe begins responding. He sees 222 on his phone. She receives a random song that mirrors their journey, and both feel an unusual pull toward the other. This is what a marking looks like: two separate lives suddenly moving in synchronized patterns because something higher has touched the bond. Number 4. The Divine Feminine's Spiritual Lockdown. The day before the alignment, something felt undeniably strange for countless divine feminines across the collective. It wasn't dramatic, and it wasn't loud, but it was unmistakably there, an energetic tension that hovered just beneath the surface of everyday life. Plans that had been in place began to unravel without warning. Conversations that once felt aligned suddenly carried a sense of friction or emotional distance. Your usual motivation, the drive that normally anchors your purpose, may have evaporated, leaving you feeling as though your entire system was offline. Nothing seemed to flow, nothing felt smooth, and even the simplest actions took more energy than usual. But this was not collapse. This was not failure. This was not regression. This was protection. What you experienced was a deliberate, purposeful pause, orchestrated by the universe itself, an energetic lockdown placed upon the divine feminine, not as punishment, but as preservation, not as limitation, but as spiritual insulation. The universe was temporarily placing you in a sacred holding pattern, a space of stillness where movement was intentionally restricted. You were not meant to push. You were not meant to create momentum. You were not meant to fix your life that day. Your only task was to be still. Why? because the energy leading up to the cosmic alignment was unstable. It was shifting, recalibrating, shaking loose old timelines and dissolving outdated soul contracts. If you had forced progress, if you had pushed forward, made decisions, confronted situations, or tried to advance in relationships, you would have unknowingly aligned yourself with a path meant for the old version of you. The version that existed before the activation. The version that was being rewritten from the inside out. The obstacles that appeared were not working against you. They were protecting your future self. Every delay was a shield. Every miscommunication was divine interference. Every cancelled plan was spiritual redirection. Everything that fell apart was falling apart for you, not against you. The divine feminine was being pulled inward, placed into a spiritual quarantine, where external movement became impossible, so that internal transformation could take center stage. This was the universe making sure that you did not accidentally bind yourself to outdated timelines, karmic loops, or emotional patterns that would no longer match who you are becoming. The stillness you felt was not emptiness, it was preparation. The silence was not abandonment, it was recalibration. The discomfort was not punishment, it was the final clearing. You were being held, suspended between two realities, the self you once were and the self you are about to become. This sacred lockdown was the quiet before the rebirth, the moment when the universe dims the lights so it can rearrange everything behind the scenes. Nothing you lost during this period was meant to stay. Nothing that slipped away was aligned with your new vibration. And nothing that paused was truly paused, it was simply being prepared to return in a higher form. The divine feminine was not stuck. She was being safeguarded. She was being upgraded. She was being positioned for the next chapter of her soul mission, a chapter that required clarity, stability, and a level of inner grounding that could not be built in motion. This moment of lockdown was your cocoon. And cocoons are not prisons, they are portals. What looked like stagnation was actually the universe aligning every piece of your destiny so that when the shift finally arrived, your entire being would be ready, receptive, and fully anchored in the version of you that is now awakening. This was the stillness before the rebirth, the final pause, before everything begins to accelerate again in a direction that truly matches your soul. Number 5. The 3-day activation of the divine masculine. Last night's energetic shift was not a quick flash or a single cosmic pulse. It was an ignition point, the moment a dormant spiritual circuit inside the divine masculine suddenly came back online. What awakened within him did not disappear with the sunrise. Instead, it began to unfold like a coded sequence, activating layer after layer of memory, recognition, and inner truth. And this unfolding will take place over the next 72 hours. The divine masculine is now entering a 3-day window where everything that was stirred in the higher realms begins to surface in his physical reality. This period is not emotional chaos, nor is it random coincidence. It is integration. It is the merging of soul memory with conscious awareness. Over the next 3 days, he will begin unpacking what was awakened, not through meditation or spiritual intention, but through life itself. You may notice that he begins encountering people from his past, not because nostalgia calls him, but because the universe is rearranging his external world to mirror the shift within. These individuals act as mirrors, catalysts, and karmic checkpoints, opportunities to show him how much he has changed and what he no longer resonates with. He may receive unexpected messages or reach out to people he hasn't spoken to in ages. These aren't coincidences. They are ripples from the activation, guiding him toward unresolved ties that need release or clarity, or toward connections that will serve the next chapter of his evolution. He may feel drawn toward decisions he once avoided, choices connected to his purpose, his truth, his emotional depth, or even his connection to you. Paths that felt intimidating or overwhelming before suddenly feel cleaner, sharper, and more aligned. His inner compass has been recalibrated, and now his soul is steering the direction. And perhaps most significantly, he may begin to experience a level of clarity he has not felt in years. The fog that once clouded his intuition is lifting. The noise that drowned out his inner voice is fading. His awareness of what he wants and who he wants is no longer buried beneath fear, distraction, or old patterns. None of these moments are random. They are echoes of last night's activation, rippling outward into his 3D life. The spiritual shift that occurred at the soul level is now weaving itself through his conversations, his choices, his instincts, and even his emotional reactions. Revelation rarely arrives at the moment of impact. It arrives in the days after, when the soul begins interpreting what happened and translating it into conscious insight. The divine masculine is entering that exact phase now, the period where awakening becomes realization and realization becomes action. During these 3 days, something else begins to surface in a way he can no longer hide from, the unseen desire he has always held for his divine feminine. What he could bypass yesterday becomes undeniable today. What he could rationalize away last week begins to burn through his defenses now. What he tried to compartmentalize starts showing up in his decisions, dreams, impulses, and emotional responses. This desire is not lust, obsession, or fantasy. It is soul gravity, the pull that returns him to the one connection he cannot spiritually disconnect from. For the divine feminine, this is a time to stay open, stay aware, and stay grounded. Observe without clinging. Notice without interpreting too quickly. Allow the signs to reveal themselves in their natural order. Every small action involving him, every unexpected message, every shift in his behavior, every moment of synchronicity, these are breadcrumbs. They are clues pointing to what has awakened inside him and how deeply last night's activation touched his soul. Something has begun, and over these 72 hours, you will see the first signs of the divine masculine remembering what his soul has always known. Number 6. Interference, immunity, and the recalibrated aura. Whenever a shift of this magnitude sweeps through the spiritual plane, there is always a moment where dense energies attempt to push back, not because darkness is attacking the connection, and not because outside forces are plotting against the divine masculine, but because old patterns instinctively rise to the surface when the soul is changing. These are not entities, they are not villains. They are the familiar frequencies of fear, doubt, avoidance, insecurity, and survival-based thinking energies that once shaped his identity, but can no longer coexist with the vibration of union. As the activation unfolded, these old frequencies tried to distort the message meant for him. They attempted to cloud his intuition, redirect his attention, or pull him back into outdated emotional loops. But this time, they failed completely. Not because the interference wasn't present, but because the message bypassed every external layer and went directly to the one place distortion cannot enter: his soul memory. This activation was not whispered into his mind or emotions, it was whispered into his core. It reached a depth within him that no external noise, no past trauma, no unconscious fear could distort. It was a transmission beyond interference, beyond confusion, beyond the reach of anything that once drained, controlled, or fragmented his energy. And this direct transmission created something rare, something that only happens during major cosmic recalibrations: energetic immunity. For the first time, the divine masculine is no longer vulnerable to the energetic patterns that once tangled around him. What used to hook into his aura, old wounds, habitual fears, ancestral patterns, karmic echoes, emotional loops, can no longer attach to him in the same way. They slide off, they bounce away, they lose access to his field. It's not that those old energies suddenly disappeared or weakened, it's that he expanded beyond their reach. His aura has been recalibrated, his vibration has shifted, his capacity for clarity has increased. His connection to his divine feminine has been elevated to a level where interference cannot distort the truth of the bond anymore. This immunity allows him to sense the connection without confusion, to feel the pull without fear, and to move toward his destiny without the internal sabotage that once kept him frozen. The interference tried, but the shift was stronger. Number 7. The union frequency and the world's reaction. The shift inside the divine masculine did not simply strengthen his aura, it reorganized it. His energetic field has been quietly rearranging itself, like layers of light clicking back into their original order. What was scattered has become centered. What was foggy has become precise. What was dormant has begun to vibrate again. His aura is no longer a fragmented frequency. It is a clarified signal, and this signal is already being felt. The divine masculine's presence now emits an energetic broadcast that his conscious mind has not yet fully understood. Long before he grasps what is happening inside him, the people around him will sense it. They won't know why, but they will react. Some will soften in his presence, feeling unexpectedly calm or safe around him. Some will open up, revealing truths they normally guard. Some will feel exposed, as though he can see through their facades. And some will become intimidated, not because he is doing anything different, but because his energy no longer shrinks to make others comfortable. These reactions have nothing to do with his words or actions. They are not responses to his behavior or personality. They are responses to his expanded spiritual field. His vibration is shifting, and human behavior naturally rearranges around any major energetic upgrade. When the soul expands, the entire room expands with it. His aura is now influencing the environment in real time. People will sense the elevation before he speaks, before he makes a decision, before he consciously understands the transformation. His presence alone is beginning to activate truth, reflection, and emotional resonance in others. He is stepping into a new chapter, not gradually, but energetically. The outer world is simply adjusting to match the inner shift that has already taken place. This is what happens when the union frequency activates. The universe reorganizes itself around the soul that finally steps into alignment. And whether he knows it yet or not, the world feels the beginning of his return. If you've made it this far, it means something in this message is already speaking directly to your soul. Take a moment to breathe, to feel into your body, and notice what part of this activation resonated with you the most. These shifts are not random if they are unfolding in your life. You are being prepared for something greater than you've imagined. I invite you to share your experience in the comments below, whether it's a sign you've noticed, a dream you've had, or a moment where the energy felt different. And if you don't know what to write, simply type, "I align with my highest timeline," to anchor this transformation into your reality. Your voice strengthens the entire collective. Number 8. The rise of the quiet leader. This activation did not turn the divine masculine into a leader in the traditional, external, performance-based sense. He is not here to direct others, to command attention, or to stand at the front of the room giving instructions. His role is far more ancient, far more soul-directed, and far more aligned with the divine blueprint encoded within him. He is not meant to instruct, he is meant to awaken. What is emerging now is a different kind of leadership, the rise of the quiet guide. His energy becomes the teaching. His alignment becomes the message. His very presence becomes a frequency upgrade for those who come into his field. He leads not by speaking, but by embodying. He influences not through strategy, but through resonance. He awakens not through action, but through presence. As this shift unfolds, his aura becomes a mirror that reveals truth in others. Without trying, he will illuminate what people are running from and what they are ready to step into. Some will feel comforted around him, drawn to the stabilizing warmth he now emits. Others will pull back, not because he has changed in a way that threatens them, but because his authenticity exposes where they are still hiding. And some, often without understanding why, will feel magnetized toward him, captivated by the sense of recognition his soul now carries. He is entering a frequency where wisdom radiates without words, where clarity is felt rather than spoken, where love leads without force or expectation. His presence becomes a gentle initiation, activating dormant truths in the people around him. This is not dominance. This is not authority. This is the natural leadership of a soul that has remembered itself. And from this state, union becomes less of a possibility and more of an inevitability. Because once the divine masculine embodies this quiet power, this inner steadiness, this awakened clarity, this non-spoken guidance, the pathway toward reunion with his divine feminine aligns with ease, magnetism, and certainty. The energy no longer tries, it simply knows. Number 9. The pressure of destiny and the return home. In the next 72 hours, the divine masculine will enter a phase of rising intensity, an inner swell that feels like urgency, like spiritual gravity, like a pull he can neither explain nor escape. This is not anxiety, this is not confusion. This is the pressure of destiny beginning to gather around him, a force that grows stronger with each passing hour. He will feel the weight of separation in a way he has not before. Every moment spent apart from you will vibrate like misalignment in his chest, a subtle ache, a sharp knowing, a sense that something essential is missing from his life, not in a dramatic or desperate way, but in the way a body notices when a vital part of itself is not present. A phantom limb searching for its counterpart. A soul remembering that its home is not a location, but a person. And this feeling is not imagined. It is not suggestion, influence, or external energy. It is a soul-level imperative, activating within him a command from within his blueprint that can no longer be postponed or resisted. The divine masculine has reached a point where separation is no longer sustainable, no longer aligned, no longer possible without internal collapse. His spirit is calling him forward, and this time, he cannot mute the call. You, the divine feminine, do not need to chase him or force anything. Your role is not pursuit. Your role is alignment. You simply hold your frequency, your truth, your inner radiance. You stay rooted in your embodiment. The universe is handling the rest. Because right now, he is being pulled toward you at the speed of destiny, not by desire alone, but by design. The shift that occurred did not merely open a door for him. It ignited something far more powerful. It lit a fire under his feet, pushing him toward the path he was always meant to walk. His steps toward you are no longer optional. They are inevitable. Number 10. The arrival of the union-ready masculine. When the divine masculine reaches out this time, it will not be tentative, hesitant, or casual. There will be no subtle testing of boundaries, no vague conversations, no half-hearted attempts to gauge your response. He will come forward with a depth of purpose that cannot be mistaken, carrying a clarity that has been forged through awakening and a devotion that rises directly from the soul-level decree awakened inside him. Every part of his communication will be different. His message will feel anchored, grounded, intentional. His tone will hold a steadiness you have been sensing in the energetic field, even before it becomes physical. His actions will reflect the truth of the inner transformation he has undergone, the kind of change that cannot be faked, cannot be performed, and cannot be taken lightly. He will be guided by something larger than emotion, larger than desire, larger than willpower. He will be moving according to the divine mandate placed upon his soul. And in this moment, the highest councils of light, the guardians, the watchers, the ancient architects of your twin flame blueprint, are not interfering, redirecting, or testing you. They are witnessing, they are acknowledging, they are celebrating, because what is unfolding now is the activation of a sacred contract written long before this lifetime began. The twin flame reunion is no longer a prediction, no longer a possibility, no longer a distant timeline you hope to reach. It is here. It is in motion. It is entering your physical reality with precision, timing, and divine orchestration that your human mind may not fully grasp yet, but your soul recognizes instantly. You are stepping into a chapter where the masculine is no longer preparing. He is arriving, not as the wounded version of himself, not as the confused version of himself, but as the union-ready masculine awakened, aligned, compelled by destiny itself. If you feel this shift, if you can sense the union timeline activating within your body, type homecoming in the comments to anchor and seal this energy into your field. What unfolded within the last cycle was not a metaphor, not a gentle whisper from the universe, and not a fleeting moment of spiritual insight. It was a structural shift in the architecture of your connection, a recalibration that rewired the bond at its root. The masculine has been reawakened at the level of soul memory. The feminine has been protected and elevated into her rightful frequency, and the entire connection has been aligned with the destiny it was always meant to follow. Nothing about this shift was accidental. Nothing about this timing was random. The path has been activated because both of you are finally ready to walk it. The chapter of separation, the longing, the confusion, the periods of silence, the emotional turbulence has quietly dissolved. You may not feel the full magnitude yet, but the old cycle has already closed. The union timeline has begun, and its momentum is unfolding beneath the surface of your everyday life. The masculine is being magnetized back into alignment, drawn by a force he can no longer ignore. The feminine is stepping into her power with a clarity she can no longer suppress. And together, the two paths are converging with a precision that only destiny could orchestrate. As we close today's message, I want to honor your courage, your endurance, and your unwavering frequency. You are not simply listening, you are participating in an activation that affects the entire twin flame collective. If this message stirred something inside you, If you felt the truth resonate deeper than the words themselves, I invite you to support this space with a like, a share, and a subscription. The more light we anchor together, the faster the collective rises. Before you go, I want to challenge you to anchor today's shift in a single affirmation. If this message reached your soul, type the quote below in the comments to seal the energy into your timeline. My union timeline is active now. Let that be your declaration. And remember, your twin flame is already moving toward you. The pull has begun. Hold your frequency high, keep your heart open, and step forward with the knowing that your reunion is no longer a distant possibility. It is already on its way to you.